Paul, your house is like a museum. I cannot wait to get started.
This is a telephone from the Dick Van Dyke Show, one of my favorite shows of the 60s.
That's so 60s.
Well, it just taps into all the things that I organically love to do, whether I was paid for it or not, whether it was on television or not, which is learn about new things, learn about new people, subcultures. So all the collections are so vast and varied that there's always something fascinating to learn, but not nearly as fascinating as the collectors. It's so funny that in many of these collections, somebody has something from my life, whether it was an album I recorded, or a lunchbox, or a coloring book, or something, always turns up. Oh, there's just so many, it's hard to even try to choose some. I'll just go personally, because I grew up in the era of coming home from school and watching the Dick Van Dyke Show and I Love Lucy and Andy Griffith shows. So even the collector who has the prop telephones from those shows, that's something that strikes me personally. But then there's things that I had no idea. Like, I wasn't raised, I didn't listen to a lot of rock and roll music, and so learning about Kiss through the Kiss collector was just fascinating, because it was a whole arena that I had no idea about, and yet it was really, really fascinating. I'd have to say fun is the best word. We were all teenagers, and even though we had all been working since we were, children, except for Mindy, and so we knew it was a job, but the fact that we got to play with girls our own age, it was also just a really fun set to be on. I think it was very unique for that era. At least now I hear that there's much more competition and backbiting, and that's not what we experienced at all. We were like sisters, so there were certainly squabbles, but it wasn't about work. It was just about normal girl stuff. I think I would probably let down every woman in America if I didn't say it was working with George Clooney, and that was actually quite fun. He wasn't who he is today, but in some ways even better, because he was just a fun guy. First of all, it was nice to have some testosterone on the set after years and years of estrogen, but he was just really funny and fun, and it was just a happy time. It was more along the lines that this was the second season of The Facts of Life, and by that time we already understood that there were really young girls watching the show. So even though it made sense from a network's perspective to have a show called The Facts of Life and not deal with it, it just felt like to me that it was too weighty a topic, and there was too much responsibility to try to deal with it on a sitcom. First of all, just some warm-hearted entertainment. There's not enough of that going on these days on television. A lot of times we feel like we need a shower afterwards. And so this is a show that I think all ages can watch, enjoy it. It touches their heart in some way, whether it's something that recalls them to their own childhood or in history, or whether it's because it's just something that it's in a culture that they've never even considered, and they learn something new. So great entertainment, and of course if there's some way that to be educated, this homeschooling mama likes that.